What's up? My name is Adam. It is December 30th today, and I pretty much watched all the new movies that I'm going to watch for this year, all the ones that were released in 2023. I saw 34 movies that were released this year. Not all of them were in theaters. Some were in theaters, some were just at home, either because they were Hulu releases, Amazon releases, and things like that. But I did see 34 movies that released this year. So I'm going to go from 34 to 1 and just kind of explain my ranking a little bit. And yeah, that's it. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with it or if you don't agree with it. Coming at number 34, though, we have Cocaine Bear. This is a movie that I was actually excited for and wanted to watch. I did not get to see it in theaters, but someone gave me the digital code when it came out and I watched it, and I was pretty disappointed by it. I didn't think it was funny. I was just waiting for it to end. They were trying way too hard to be funny. Um, and it's just one I did not enjoy. I immediately put it at the bottom of the list, and it has stayed there since I have watched it. Coming at number 3, we have 80 for Brady. This is another one that I was actually kind of excited for. I did not see this one in theaters either. I saw this one when it came out. I forget what streaming site it was on, but I saw it. And while it wasn't the worst thing I ever saw, it was not good. It wasn't. All the funny parts are basically in the commercials. And there's nothing else. It's very formulaic. It was really obviously what was about to happen. There are scenes in the movie where I just thought were unnecessary. And that was it. 80 for Brady just was not for me, I guess. Coming at number 32 was No One Will Save You. This one was I think a horror movie. Or it's a horror movie, but I think it was on Hulu when it came out. It was one I didn't really hear about until a lot of people were talking about it on TikTok, Instagram, so I checked it out. And there was another one where I thought it started out pretty good, but overall, I couldn't get into it. It just wasn't. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. The story wasn't there for me. It didn't keep me engaged throughout the thing, so I did put that one at 32. So going on to 31 was Inside. This one was Willem Dafoe. I believe this was Amazon Prime. He's locked in in like a penthouse suite. He was robbing it. Something went wrong. He couldn't get out, and he was stuck in there for like 3 months. I thought it had a good premise. I love Willem Dafoe, and it started out good, but it just dragged on and on and on. So if they would have had a shorter runtime, maybe it would have been a little bit better. But it was just one of those where, again, I was waiting for it to end. Coming at number 30, and honestly, with these movies as well, I didn't. Oh, except for the ones I just mentioned, I didn't really hate most of them. Most of them I do enjoy. I usually just watch movies that I actually feel like I will enjoy when I'm going to watch it. So I don't usually go and see movies I don't think I'm not going to like. So most of the time, I do enjoy the movies I actually watch. So from basically 30 and on, I actually did somewhat enjoy these movies, just not as much as I did the other ones. Anyway, though, 30 we're having is 65, Adam Driver, prehistoric movie with dinosaurs. This is one, Adam Driver. I thought it would be pretty interesting. I thought it would be kind of like, not Jurassic Park, but kind of like that a little bit. I know he went back in time 65 million years ago with him and a little girl, and they were trying to find their way back. This movie, once again, Adam Driver was great in it, but overall just wasn't for me. Did not like it a lot. Next up, we have Creed 3. Creed 1 and Creed 2 are absolutely amazing. Creed 3 is definitely the weakest link in the trilogy, and by no means is this a bad movie. I still enjoyed Creed 3, but not as. I think I had such high expectations because of the first one and the second one. The third one just did not live up to me, and there's a couple times and scenes in here where I thought it was a little weird. One, I don't know why I thought this was weird. When he was walking out, and his girlfriend or his wife was walking out singing in the last battle. To me, that was kind of cheesy. And then during the fight, the scene where like everybody kind of disappeared and they're boxing by themselves, it didn't work for me on that one as well. Next up, we have Ant-Man Quantumania. This is another one where it was a tale of two stories. The first half of the movie was just not good. Once King the Conqueror came into the movie, it actually did improve, but not by too much. So that is why it's getting that 28. Because I still like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's still awesome. Next up, we have Missing. This was a Netflix movie. To be honest, I don't remember much of it, which is why it's lower on the list. But it was pretty suspenseful, and I do remember liking it. It's about this. I don't even remember what it was about. But it was pretty good. It was suspenseful. I definitely would recommend at least one watch, but the rewatchability just isn't there for me on Missing. Next up at 26, we have Five Nights at Freddy. This one I know a lot of people like it because of that nostalgic feel, and it was a video game. I've never played the game. I've never really even heard about it until the movie came out. I watched some of the gameplay, but when the movie came out, I watched it. It has Josh Hutcherson. It starts out good, but the ending just wasn't. I don't know. I didn't like the ending too much on this one, but it was still a fun watch. I'd still recommend watching it at least once. Coming at number 25, we have Barbie. This is another one. I still enjoyed it, but it just was not as enjoyable as the other 24 movies that I had ahead of it. Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, they were amazing in this movie. The fight scene on the beach, and then I'm Just Ken, still stuck in my head to this day. I still enjoy the Barbie movie, and that one's at 25. Next up, we got 24. At 24, we have Renfield. This one is Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage, where Nicolas Cage is a vampire, Dracula, and Nicholas Hoult is his assistant who gets blood for him. This movie was okay. It was funny at parts, but not. I don't think it lived up to the expectation I had for it. I like Nicholas Hoult. I like Nick Cage, especially as recently Pig and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was really good. So I was excited for this one. I knew it was a movie that I knew I wasn't going to take seriously, but still at the end of the day, it was a decent movie. Just once again, it was number 24 on my list. Coming at number 23, we have Knock at the Door. This one has a great cast: Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, Jonathan Groff, and I can't remember any of the other ones off the top of my head. But this movie started out good. It was one of those where, with M. Night Shyamalan, I honestly would not have seen this movie if it wasn't for Rupert Grint and M. Night. But I watched it. It was pretty good. It was good until the ending. I didn't really like the ending as much as this one either. It kind of ruined the rest of the movie for me. But overall, it was a pretty decent movie. Next up at 22, we got another horror movie in Megan. This is one where I did not see this one in theaters either. I saw this one actually. I just watched it on my phone when we were traveling. And I feel like that has a little bit to do with it as well. I feel like when you watch it on your phone, it's so much different than you watch it in a theater. So that could have been a little reason. It was a fun movie overall, but it was one of those, just watch it once. I'm glad I watched it. Do I want to watch it again? I don't know. Probably not. Next up at number 21, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm a big Zachary Levi fan, especially with Chuck. Chuck is one of my favorite shows of all time, probably top 5. But just Fury of the Gods did not do it for me. It was fun overall. There were aspects of the movie that fell flat with me. I thought some of the comedy just didn't hit with me. So it got number 21 on the list, but it's still one that I enjoyed. Next up, we have Man Called Otto. This one is Tom Hanks. This one was on Netflix. It was another one I did not catch in the theaters. It was when I saw in a trailer for it, and I'm like, that looks pretty good, but I don't know if I want to watch it. I ended up watching it on Netflix, and I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Tom Hanks was amazing in it. It was a great story. Definitely sad towards the end. And it was a good movie. I overall enjoyed this movie, which is why it's at number 20. Number 19, we have another horror movie, Evil Dead Rise. I enjoy Evil Dead 1. I enjoy Evil Dead 2. I enjoy Army of Darkness. I watched Evil Dead 2013 for the first time after Evil Dead Rise, and I just was not a fan of it. Evil Dead Rise to me, though, I enjoyed it. I feel like I say enjoy, I need a new word. But I really liked Evil Dead Rise. It was a fun horror movie. Obviously, I mean, you knew it was going to happen during the movie, but I really liked it especially. I felt like it connected well with the first couple movies. Coming in at number 18 is Beau is Afraid. This one is a Joaquin Phoenix movie. If you know me, Joaquin Phoenix is near the top of the list for me. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. And I just realized I did not add Napoleon to the list. Napoleon, I'm just going to add it now. Napoleon would probably be 26, right after Barbie, but before Five Nights at Freddy's. Wow, can't believe I missed that one. But anyway, Beau is Afraid is a great movie. The only bad part is 3 hours long. It was super weird. I honestly did not understand it. I liked it the first time I did. This one did come with a rewatch a couple months later. Did not like it as much on the rewatch, so it did bump down a little bit for me there. Next up at 17, we have The Marvels. This one was Captain Marvel. Rambo had Samuel L. Jackson in it. And this one got more hate than I think it deserved. I actually really enjoyed The Marvels, and think people should give it a chance. I enjoyed it. Some of the reviews I saw where people didn't like it, I actually liked those parts, especially with the cats. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But I thought it was kind of funny. Next up, at number 16, we have Wonka. This was another one. I did see this one in theaters. I did not have high expectations for it. Saw a lot of mixed reviews for it, but I had a lot of fun at the theaters watching Wonka. It was good. I did a review, so if you want to go watch that review, I did it a few days ago before this one. But I think For a Moment and then Pure Imagination still stuck in my head a week after I saw the movie, and I still listen to the soundtrack as well. Next up at 15, we have Mario, the Super Mario Brothers. I've watched this one in theaters. I even rewatched it again when I bought it on 4K. I enjoyed it both times. This was another fun watch. A lot of good Easter eggs in the movie as well, especially being a 90s kid that I really enjoyed watching. The story was good. Animation was good. That one was one I really liked to watch. Coming at number 14, we have Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons before. I don't really know much about it other than the things I've kind of seen on Stranger Things and things I've seen from other YouTube videos. So I didn't know what to expect from this one. This one has Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez. I can't remember anyone else from, but it was another one of those. I saw it at home. I did not see this in theaters, and I just enjoyed it. It was a fun, just sit back, it's like Sunday afternoon watch kind of movie. Had a lot of fun watching this one. Next up at number 13 is Scream 6. So the Scream series is something I got into last year when Scream 5 came out. I bought all of them, watched them all. I actually liked all of them. Scream 1 being my favorite, but just Ghostface was, I don't know, I like Ghostface now. I'm a Ghostface fan, Scream fan, so I enjoyed Scream 6. I'm disappointed with all the news coming out about Scream 7, but Scream 6 was still a good watch for me. Coming at number 12, we have The Little Mermaid, the Disney's Little Mermaid live action adaptation with Halle Berry. Is that right? This one I really liked it. I loved the first Little Mermaid animated movie. I did not have expectations for this. I saw it in theaters and just had so much fun. Me and my wife wanted to go see this. I'm glad I saw this one in theaters. I bought it on Blu-ray, but I have not rewatched it yet, so I need to. But the songs that they did from the original movie were great. The added songs were great, especially the song that Eric sings, Uncharted Waters. That one I still have on my Spotify playlist and listen to. I really enjoyed it, The Little Mermaid. Plus, I'm a Disney fan, so I have a little bias towards those movies. Coming in at number 11, almost at the 10, we have Air with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, who directed it. This one was one I watched. I think it came out at the beginning of the year. I watched this one on Amazon Prime, and I just put it on one day. Didn't have much expectations, but it was a very good movie. The story, the acting, it was just I really like this movie. It was really good. I recommend seeing it. Here are the top 10 movies. 2 of them I literally just saw 2 days ago. Saw them both at the same time. At number 10 is Iron Claw with Zac Efron about the Van Erichs brothers and the wrestling in the 80s. This one was not what I was expected. I did not do any research before the movie. I saw the trailers, thought it was going to be about wrestling. It was more about the family and just the sad, depressing tragedy that happened with their family through their lives. But it's an A24 movie. I love A24, just like with Beau is Afraid, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. That's all I really got to say about Iron Claw. I just did a review on it a couple days ago, so go check it out. Number 9 is The Holdovers. It was the second movie I saw that day. This one's Paul Giamatti. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's an underrated actor. This one, I saw trailers for it. I did see this in theaters. I saw trailers for it, and I didn't know what to really think about it until I went into it. It took a minute for me to get into the story, but once I did, this movie had, it wasn't like funny, but it did have some funny moments. The heart was there, the story was there. You kind of knew what was going to happen. It's predictable, but I still really enjoyed how they did the storytelling in the Holdovers. Next up at number 8, we have Gran Turismo. Honestly, not gonna lie, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I love Orlando Bloom because of it. So when I saw Orlando Bloom in the trailers, I'm like, okay, I got to see this movie. So that was one of the main reasons I saw this movie. I did go to theaters to see it. The racing scenes in this movie were amazing. The acting, for the most part, was really good in this movie. It was a lot better than I expected it to be. I had so much fun in the theaters watching that one. Next up at number 7, we have Songbirds and Snakes, the Hunger Games prequel. This one was, I did see this one in theaters. This one I had a little bit of expectations for because the Hunger Games are just, it was not one of my favorite franchises. Probably top 10 franchise for me. Really enjoyed the Hunger Games. So had some pretty good hopes, expectations for this, and it met it. This one, it blew me away with, I'm not going to say it was amazing, but it was number 7 on the year for me. I did a review on this too about a month ago, and if you want me to go more into depth in that, definitely go check that out. I really enjoyed that one. Coming at number 6, probably the most fun I had at the theater was number 6, and it's Next Goal Wins. Taika Waititi. I don't know how to say his name. I'm so sorry. But this movie was amazing. It's about a soccer team that never scored a goal in a FIFA game before. New coach comes in, and you have to watch the movie. I don't want to spoil it, but it was hilarious. It was a feel-good movie. Me and my wife went to go see it, and it was amazing. We still quote it a month after we've seen it. Definitely recommend Next Goal Wins. It did not get the hype that it needed to. Number 5. Here at number 5. Number 5 is Oppenheimer. This is the only movie I saw in IMAX this year, and I'm so glad I saw it in IMAX. These seats were shaking during when the bass was getting good. The score to this movie was amazing. Cillian Murphy was absolutely brilliant in this movie. The only bad part I would have to say is the runtime. I think it's kind of needed, but at the same time, I am ADD, and 3 hours in the theater is a lot of time. But this movie's amazing. I have not rewatched it yet, but I have a feeling that when I rewatch it, I'm going to like it just as much as I did the first time. Robert Downey Jr. as well was awesome. At number 4, we have one that came out this month. Was it last month? Godzilla Minus One. This was one I did not know about until it came out into theaters. I kind of brushed it off to the side because it's a foreign movie. I usually don't like reading subtitles when I'm watching a movie, but it had so many good reviews. I'm like, all right, I got to go check this out. I checked it out, and wow, it was absolutely amazing. The acting, the story, the action, the score, everything in this movie was awesome. The only bad part I have to say about this movie is the experience I had in theaters. I was sitting next to these like 2 10-year-old boys. It was awful. I had to go all the way down to the front row to watch it just to get away from them, and I could still hear them like talking and kind of like snickering, laughing near the top row. But other than that, this movie was awesome. Coming at number 3, we got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I tried the first one twice, Into the Spider-Verse twice, and I thought it was overhyped. I did not get why so many people liked it so much. So I went into this movie because the animation was good, so I'm like, I have to see this in theaters. I did, and it's all the way at number 3 on my list. This movie was amazing. I was into it the whole time. The score, I don't even know how to describe it. I just really enjoyed watching this movie. I even had a rewatch of it and still enjoyed it. Definitely recommend everybody, and I cannot wait for the next one to come out either next year or the year after. Alright, down to the final 2. Number 2, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I wish I would have saw this in theaters. This is one I wish I would have saw in theaters. I did not see it. I wasn't really a huge Mission Impossible fan. I've seen the first one in college. Didn't really like it. I saw the third one when I was younger, and that's the only one I saw when I was younger. Thought it was amazing, and I also saw Ghost Protocol when it came out. So I've seen like some of them here and there, and I liked them, but I never really loved them until I saw this movie. And I guess I'm a Tom Cruise fan because Top Gun Maverick was my number 1 movie from last year. This movie is number 2. Tom Cruise is amazing in it. The action, everything in this movie, once again, is great. I had to go back and rewatch all the Mission Impossible movies. Got me back into those. I cannot wait for the next one to come out next, or whenever it comes out. And down to my number 1. Number 1 movie of the year is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This has been at number 1 since I saw it, I want to say in May. I am a Marvel fan, It's been disappointing since after Endgame and No Way Home. There's been a lot of mediocre Marvel movies that have come out, but Chris Pratt, Rocket, all the actors were amazing in this. This movie had heart. It had a good, or I like the story to this movie. I thought it was hilarious. Just everything kind of came together with this movie, and I had a lot of fun in theaters watching this one as well. Glad I picked that one up and saw that in theaters. Anyway, though, let me know what you think of my list of the 34. Is there anything you agree with, disagree with? Did I miss any movies that I did not see that you saw that maybe I should see? Definitely leave those recommendations down in the comments. But other than that, peace.